As well. We will start with Jeff Hawkins, followed by Mike Kay.
Greetings, Nick. Jeff Hawkins from the Charlotte Post. Good luck and congratulations on the pick. I see you were listed on your bio at 285, but I saw a video of you working out and you look significantly slimmer. Can you talk about your off-season conditioning and changing your body type and how it will help in the NFL? Thanks.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that and happy to be here. But yeah, man, I was 285 beginning of the season. I kind of dropped down a couple after the first couple games. I was like 275. Left the end of the season 275. Kind of got to my training facility and wanted to get down to 260, and just was on a great nutrition plan and learning how to eat right and things of that nature, and getting the right amount of sleep and things like that nature. Just, having great, resources at my facility and, them educating me is the big reason and change of body.
Hey, Nick.
Sorry about that. I couldn't unmute it. How do you think losing the weight and will help in the NFL?
I think a lot, I'm a younger player, so just growing into my body, building those right muscles, getting stronger, understanding my body. I think it would help a lot. I'm quicker, I'm faster, I'm stronger, better conditioned. I just think it's going to help me a lot in the long term.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mike.
Sorry about that, Nick. Congratulations. I'm Mike Kay from the Charlotte Observer. Welcome to the Panthers. Nick, you don't turn 21 until August. Like, has it sunk in that you're going to be a professional football player and be donning an NFL jersey and going to an NFL training camp before you can even drink?
Yes, sir. I mean, I've always dreamed of this moment. I think I'm ready, and I'm just excited, to be so young and be blessed to be able to be put in this position. Sure.
Obviously, have you spoken to EJ yet? In
Yeah.
he's known for wanting guys with, like, long arms and heavy hands and all that stuff. How do you feel like you would define your style of play as an edge rusher?
Yes, sir. I think just a resilient guy, coming to the game. with great game plans, a really good understanding of how to rush and things like that. I think I'm a very instinctive player while also, being a very smart player. You can see I'm thinking on the field. I think I'm very physical. So, I think I'll fit right in.
Thanks. Nice meeting you.
Yes, sir. You too. I appreciate it.
All right, we will go to David Newton, followed by Alex, and then Mike Solarte, and over to Cassidy.
Hey, Nick, David Newton with ESPN.com. Did you get advice from teams that you needed to drop the weight? I mean, was that or something you did with your own with your trainer?
Yeah, it was just one to be, tighter, one to be, look better and, feel better. That's
And
all it was.
okay, and I mean, your sack production at Purdue last year, the year before, was 10 and 5 last year. So, did you feel like you needed to get quicker to get back to that level where you were playing at Purdue?
No, sir. I just think, obviously different styles of defense, so different needs.
Mhm.
And just, knowing like my body, I'm older now, I'm 20, I'm going to that 21-year-old body. I don't need to have all that weight to be able to set the edge. More like a
And
technique thing.
what player maybe in the league now or been in the league that you kind of most model your game after?
I can't really say like one person, but I really love like Brandon Graham and guys like Dwight Freeney and things like that. But I just I try to take as much knowledge from all types of edge rushers.
Thanks.
So
Congratulations.
so thank you so much.
Hey Nick, Alex Zetler with the Charlotte Observer here. So I was looking at your bio and it said that you played basketball in high school. What
So
position did you play and what was that experience like?
so on defense, I was dang near like the point guard. Like I played the top of all the pressers. I would run the court. But on offense, I guess I was a center. We had this guy named Rodney who was really good. He's playing D1 basketball. I think he went to Toledo. Yes, sir. He went to Toledo, and man, he was just ridiculous. So he was like our big man, but I was the big man on. I kind of just set screens and got rebounds.
So,
But I think it helped me a lot actually.
well, yeah, tell me how it's helped you.
Just like my footwork, being able to change direction. Being athletic enough to move my feet and then not being uncomfortable. Being able to jump and do things contested with somebody in front of you, and just conditioning, obviously. Basketball conditioning is a whole lot different than football.
And forgive me for the multiple player comps thing, but how many, like, I can't really think of many guys off the top of my head who were the biggest guy on the court, but also played, uh, also guarded the point guard. Is there like a basketball comp that you have for yourself?
I would say honestly like a baby Draymond Green. Except my post scoring game is much better, much
Much
better.
better than
And
Draymond.
I can make hooks. Yeah, left hand hooks. I can go up and dunk it. I was pretty decent,
Awesome. I'll be sure to let him know. Thanks, man.
sir. Uh,
Hey Nick, congratulations. Did we lose you?
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm assuming that Rodney is somewhere in Toledo telling people, I used to play basketball with this guy Nick, and now he's in the NFL.
Yes, ma'am. I actually texted him the other day, because he just committed to Toledo and it was wishing him congrats and he was wishing me congrats for the draft.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I know that Brian is right there near College Station, so this was a chance to come home for you for this past year. But what all kind of went into that decision to come back to Texas A&M, and how do you feel like this past year paid off as it got you ready for the NFL?
Man, the decision to come back home was it was kind of like a relief when I got the opportunity. At first I was a little bit salty about it, like not being recruited out of high school, man. But once I got past that, and I sat down with Coach Elko and his staff, and I was just like, man, this is where I want to play. I mean, it's all aligning, and I think it paid off, man. I made some great connections, played some great football. I played in the SEC, was able to go and win a couple big games. I lost a couple big games, but just to be like able to go to the SEC, man, and have success was just like a it was a big honor, and especially due to my hometown.
So you were salty about not getting recruited by Texas A&M coming out of high school?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think changed between then and when you were able to go back and they did want you to be there this last year?
Honestly, just like recruit, like ranking, like coming out of high school, I didn't have many offers, and then when I hit the portal, I was kind of sought after. I was kind of after, so that was kind of dope. But yeah, I think that's all it was. Just opportunity. I went, maybe they thought I wasn't good enough in high school.
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, Nick, Mike Solarte with Spectrum News One. Congratulations on making your way into the league. You go to a defense that needs help. The fan base was clamoring for a defensive pick in the first round. Instead, they go to the second round and get you. You're the first defensive guy taken by this team. What do you bring to the table with what you see for Carolina, and how quickly do you think you can assimilate to fit in?
Yeah, I mean, what I see is, man, bringing in, a nasty demeanor, a guy with a chip on his shoulder, and a natural born leader, and a guy who loves football. I'm coming to, compete for a spot, man, and compete to win a championship. I'm not coming to, just say I made it to NFL. But I think I can add a lot to the defense just by, being myself and, coming in and working hard and, getting around the vets and, just getting better.
What would you attribute as to your biggest strength? Is it your strength, physical strength, quickness, tenacity? What's your calling card?
I think just my competitiveness. I really don't like to lose. I think it's like almost like I think it's the worst thing in the world. Like I hate to lose, and I think that's just kind of what drives me to get better. I think having a guy like that is very important on every team. Hopefully all you guys are like that, but I think that's what I bring, man. Just the aggression, the passion to play the game.
Terrific. Thanks very much.
All right.
So thank you.
We will finish off with Joe Person and Mike K.
Hey, Nick, congrats. Hope you're doing well. Couple
Sir,
questions.
thank you.
Yeah, man. Couple questions for you. What was your how big did your diet change when you decided to get healthier? Like, kind of give us an example of like what you were eating and then what you started eating differently.
Yeah, I think it's just it wasn't necessarily like a crazy like diet change. It was more like understanding how to eat. When I first got to A&M during the season, I was trying to figure out like my routine. And basically I was like, I was skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, and then having like a big dinner. I'll have like some pasta and carb load up and right before I go to bed. And it just wasn't right. And I'm snacking throughout the day. It just wasn't right. And then I actually got like meal prep. My dad got meal prep from this store in College Station, and it just gave me a routine and a consistent diet of how to eat. Like they had my breakfast and my snacks and things like all lined up for me. It just took one thing, one less thing on my plate to worry about, and it made the most sense. And I should have been on it earlier, but I was just being ignorant.
And you mentioned your dad. I read, I think, where he was your NIL agent. What kind of deal did he get you with the Aggies?
My dad was not my NIL agent.
Okay.
He was just God helping me out in that process, man. And I was taken care of by A&M, man, and I really appreciate it.
Any was it any kind of cool marketing deal you had or any local businesses that you were working with?
Mm, no, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, sir, not really.
Hey, last one, just wondered, like you talked about your competitiveness. What when you look at, they've got Clowney, DJ Wanham, just got Patrick Jones in free agency. Where do you think you fit in, and what have the Panthers told you about your immediate role?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't spoke about that. I just got drafted, man. Uh, but I think just going in there and competing. I mean, it's football at the end of the day. The best man plays. Those are some great guys, man. I'm excited to get around them. Hopefully, them take me in and coach me up and help me get better. But at the end of the day, man, I'm here to play early and wherever that falls in. If that's on special teams, all four phases, or if that's starting on defense, that's where I'm shooting for wherever. I'm coming in here to compete. So,
Thank you. Congrats.
sir, thank you,
Hey
sir. I
Nick, I'm back
appreciate it,
again. Yeah, I'm back again.
sir.
You brought up Brandon Graham, which is kind of an unusual, like, top guy to kind of, I mean, probably a lot about his career, but do you see yourself being used the way he was, kind of inside, outside, up, 2 point stand, 3 point stance? Do you feel like you can be that type of versatile chip?
Yes, sir, for sure. I think that's kind of something that's attractable about me. Like, I have gotten a 4 eye and played a 4 eye, or I have been in the 9 technique. I have dropped in coverage. I feel like I can do all of that. So sliding inside on third down, or sliding in 3 technique, I can do that, and I love to do that. Or being a 9 technique and rushing for 9, I love that as well. I think the versatility is really a thing that is kind of said about me.
Thanks.
Sir,
All
thank you.
right. Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you taking the time. We look forward to seeing you here in Carolina soon.
Yes, ma'am.